Hello, Wanderers. Welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 roleplay series of following Lord Ardos Stark, the lone wolf, the last of the Starks. And after that last episode, there's once again a Stark in Winterfell. As indeed you will recall that we had soundly defeated the forces of the Boltons in several battles here just north of Moat Cailin, in Wet Marsh, in Barlow, Heapsdown, near White Harbor as well. And so, with the defeat of the Boltons and the death of both the older Elder King Bolton and then his son, who are all slain, not to mention the slaying and capturing of almost all of their powerful commanders, we had them soundly defeated, and there was no one to stand against us from taking our rightful place once again in Winterfell. And chief among those servants of the Boltons was the dastardly Harrion Blackmire. As you will recall, Harrion was once one of our trusted allies, one of our companions who went with us north beyond the wall after we had been ousted by the Boltons, along with his twin brother Farland Blackmire. They were, we were close with both of these men. They knew us well. And yet it was that after Farland's death, fell from a mountain trail just while we were in here in the Vale, that something turned in Harrion. It was, I think, that he blamed us for the death of his brother Farland, and thus he ended up betraying us. He turned the Cranagmen of the Neck against us, and that's why we had so much trouble fighting our way through the Neck and then getting trapped by the Cranagmen while we were attacked from the south and from the north, a pincer attack by the Bolton and the Iron Island forces that led to a massive defeat early on in the war. That was all Harrion's doing, and for that he was rewarded with the Dreadfort. And so after the Boltons were slain, Harrion had no choice but to try to lead the Bolton forces to defeat Ardos himself, and we ended up dueling him in what was probably the most tense duel that I have had in this game in all my many years of playing, because his prowess is even higher than ours was at the time. I think we were at 39 and he was at 40. He was definitely still around this 47, which was just complete madness. I mean, his prestige is crazy. Yeah, exalted among men. He's got 8,900 prestige. This guy, he was one of the greatest fighters in the world, and yet we were able to defeat him in that duel and capture him. And that was pretty much the end of the Bolton forces. And so we have Harrion here. We've finished off. We've wiped up the rest of the Bolton loyalists, and now there are very few of them left, if any. I mean, I think everybody can safely admit, or maybe not safely, but can at least admit that Ardos here, Lord Ardos, ignore the fact that it says king for now, because there's going to be something involving that later on. But Lord Ardos here he has to decide what to do in the aftermath of all of this. And as you can see, we have a lot of decisions to make and a lot of things going on. But I think the first thing that we have to do is deal with Harrion. And I think that there is really only one option for a traitor of the magnitude of Harrion, and it will not be banishing. Even if we could banish him to the Night's Watch, it doesn't exist. Don't forget that the King Beyond the Wall owns the wall now. So yeah, that's another problem we're gonna have to deal with. But no, Harrion, we are going to have to give him his punishment. And as you can see, we now have the option to behead, and we will certainly be doing so, because that is what a traitor such as Harrion deserves. And so let us execute our rival, our nemesis, the man who betrayed us and who tried to stop us from taking back Winterfell. I would say goodbye, Harrion, but no, it is good riddance to a traitor to the north. So, with Harrion dead, there is the problem of the surviving Boltons. And those Boltons just happen to be our half-siblings. One of them is Princess Jessamine, and the other is Prince Malidor. Now, both of these are, as I said, the children of our mother and of King Iron the Heartless. We're obviously not going to be executing them, but we certainly are not going to just let the matter lie as it is. So they are currently in our prison or in house arrest. So the very first thing we're going to do for both of them is we're going to force them to renounce their claims. Can we get a weak hook? No. Okay, so we're going to force them to renounce their claims. I think that that's a pretty good start. That's going to certainly make it them less of a threat to us in the future. Can we gain a weak hook on her? We can. So I'm going to do that, certainly. So let's let a moment pass here while we do that. Ah, what a delightful day it is. The wind is refreshing, the sun warm, insects chirp happily in the undergrowth. Everything seems bright and vivid. It's all because that brash Harrion is finally blessedly dead. I can't contain my grin. I don't know if we're grinning. I feel like this would be more somber, but I think the idea here is that we are pretty pleased with being able to get revenge on Harrion here. The best day of my life. We lose 20 stress. It's time to move on. Yeah, I think it is time to move on from that. Ooh. To the obnoxious King Artus, Ogre, your crimes against me are reprehensible. Meet me in single combat and let battle judge our differences. Who is this? Lord Tom of Pinehole. Decline. Oh, we would spend some prestige declining there. All right. I guess we'll fight this guy. I will fight as my own champion. Sure. All right. Let's face this Ironborn. He demands a trial by combat. Maybe we are going to maybe we're gonna make an example of him. All right. Let's see. Fastest blade in North. We are a blade master. Maggot, you think you can stand against me? I think that we're gonna go with. I'll show you how I heft a sword. And then a better men than you. Let's see. Yeah, better than men than you. And then fastest blade in the north again. There we go. We find success. I fight like water flows, flexible but inevitable. From nowhere, a Tom flies forwards, aiming a vicious kick at exactly where my shin was a moment ago. Surprised by my unexpected shift, my foe sails past me, utterly off balance. With a completely clear shot at his back, I let loose a rain of quick slashes, beating him to the ground. He lands on his side, coughing up gobbets of blood for a while till he rasps out an exhausted death rattle. Well, this is certainly going to, you know, everybody is well aware that Ardos is not a man to be trifled with in single combat, certainly. The gods smiled on me heartily yesterday as I bring my weapon down. Lord Tom falls. I stand there panting before I realize I have won. The gods have spared me and shown I was always right. Yesterday we put our quarrel before the gods, and the gods answered wisely. Justice is served. We become the dynasty head. Perfect. Greetings, brother. I have no choice but to accept your conditions for my release. Excellent. And there we go. There. All right, so we can pause it here. Now that we have done that, we are also, once again, the head of the Northman culture. So there we go. That's that business taken care of. Now, I do have a plan for some of these. Now, I mean, Prince Malidor, I don't know. I don't think we have anything necessarily against our half-siblings. I don't think we would... I mean, we have no love for them because we don't know them. But I don't think we would have necessarily animosity for them. I mean, could we educate the boy ourselves? I don't know if we would want to. I don't think we would really care to do that. We'll consider what to do there. As for Jessamine, I do have a plan in mind, and that is going to go along with rewarding some of our trusted companions, because we had, many people have helped us along the way. One of which, unfortunately, is Sir Garth Manderley, who indeed suffered that devastating blow to the head during one of those battles, rendered incapable. That is a living death, unfortunately. We also had others who fought and died for us. Alden the Silent, a man with no tongue, but who was a capable ally of ours. John the Large. He was a great warrior as well. He taught us much of what we know about combat, which honestly wasn't that much, but he taught us a lot about fighting. We also have Utgar the Sorcerer. He was a very capable member of our companions. Sir Roderick as well. Cregan Umber, of course. Farland Blackmire, suffered an unfortunate fate. Arian Blackmire, well, he was a friend. He was an ally. Lorien Rainhelm, murdered by Oreg Woodstalker, whom we had to execute. And then, of course, Graham Mormont, the man who led us through the Wildling lands, who came up with this plan, who kept us alive this whole time. Nobody deserves a greater reward than Graham the Wild Bear Mormont. And I have a plan for that, and that plan is to give him the Dreadfort. But before we do that, I think we're going to be renaming it, because the Dreadfort is not a fitting name for a Mormont-owned castle. But what about the Bearfort? Yeah, I think I like that a lot better. So this is going to be renamed to the Bearfort. We're going to do that with the title as well. So the High Lordship of the Bearfort here. And then we're going to... You know what? Maybe we'll actually even change the color a little bit. So it's kind of like this little bit of a Mormont greenish gray. Bearfort. There we go. Finish that off. Submit. Excellent. So we are going to give him the Bearfort, but in order to perhaps grant him a little bit of extra legitimacy, I think we're going to arrange a marriage here, and that is going to be... or at least a betrothal, and this is going to give the Mormonts a little bit more legitimacy in ruling these lands, because they will have Bolton blood as well. It's not going to be a matrilineal marriage. There we go. We will send that proposal. So obviously there's it's going to be a while before they can marry, but in terms of the political idea here, I think it makes a lot of sense. So there we go. So we're going to grant you the title there. First, we're going to give you the Bearfort. Well, I'm just going to give him the one title for now, because I want to give out the Pale and the Matchwood as well. These were also two titles that Harrion was holding. And we do have a couple people who would be quite fitting for that. And I think one of them is going to be Utgar the Sorcerer. Now, this guy is, he's an interesting man, Utgar the Sorcerer. Green dreams, he's a herbalist, a bit of a drunkard, but he served us well. He certainly deserves some land here, so we're going to give him the Pale. I think the Pale fits for a sorcerer. There we go. Lord Utgar of House Bolton. Perhaps we'll change that up after. And then also Sir Roderick as well. Sir Roderick was a good ally. I mean, he's unfortunately, half blind and brutally mauled, but you know what? We reward those who fought well with us. So we're going to give him that land, the land of the Matchwood. There we go. So Lord Roderick. There we go. I like it. And we'll probably change up his house later on as well. Now, before I give Lord Graham here the High Lordship of the Bearfort, I do want to reward some of our other allies here, and that is so there were three main northern houses that helped us win the North back, and that was obviously House Mormont, House Manderley, and House Karstark. All three of those were great allies to us, and so we're going to give the Mormonts their rewards, but we also need to give White Arbor and Carhold some rewards as well. So What we're going to do for White Harbor is we're going to give them some extra vassals here. So we're going to grant them a vassal there, and we're also going to grant them a vassal in Overton. So there we go. So White Harbor gets a couple extra vassals, a couple extra lands under their sway, which is, a pretty fitting reward, I think, for the Manderleys, especially considering what happened to Garth. And then for Carhold, we're going to give them some extra vassals as well, because, like I said, you got to reward the people who served you well. So we're basically splitting up the lands of the former Dreadfort between House Karstark, House Manderley, and House Mormon. So now that that's all set up, now we can give the title of the High Lordship of the Bearfort to Graham Mormont here. So there we go. We also do want to reward House Umber here, and I think that we could do it. I mean, House Umber does have some land actually still over here in Thorpe. I'm not really entirely sure how they got it, but they did. But I do think that Cregan Umber, he is a bastard, but I think he deserves a little bit of land as well. But I haven't really thought of where to give him some land yet. We do have Moat Caelin. What's the Lordship of Alpine? Lordship of... Okay, so these are not within our... Oh, yeah, okay. This is in the Black Pines. Can we create this? We don't have the money. Ooh. But we could make him... like a High Lord here. Interesting. Who owns this land? Oh, I see. It's interesting. I don't think I'm going to waste my money on that though, but I think we are going to give him we're going to give him a title here. So I think Alpine sounds pretty good there. So there we go. Lord Cregan Umber here, the Lord of Alpine, and he's already got a wife, so perhaps he will have some children as well. His wife's, she could still have some children. So there we go. We've got Lord Cregan, Lord Roderick, Lord Utgar, and of course Lord Graham here. We do have a few others. Osgood Shet, we do want to... this is one of the Knights of the Vale who came with us. I do want to get him back. We are going to pay his ransom because we aren't going to allow one of our trusted allies, one of the knights who came with us, to languish in an Ironborn prison. So we'll pay the 50 to get him out of here. Wilfred Seawind, we're going to reward you as well, but I don't think we're going to give out land to these guys here. The Giants, I don't know if we'll give them land either. We could maybe make Magmar the Lord. That might... I don't know if the people in the north would really like that, and I don't think he would really care to be a lord, honestly. And then Dragma, one of the wildling women who came with that. I have an idea for what we're going to do for her as well. So there we go. But we've rewarded the surviving members of our original company with land, and they have proven themselves loyal. They have proven themselves worthy of this the trust that we have given them here. So yeah, that is pretty good, and hopefully Lord Graham's going to be a trusted ally here. And I think we can give him a further reward as well, and that is going to be the reward of being our right-hand man, if we can find him here. Indeed, we are going to... He's not going to be the best Castellan, but I think there's no other thing that we can do other than make him our Castellan here. We'll probably put him onto something that's actually useful. So there we go. Who's going to be our Chancellor? Well, we do have a Frey here, but I'll get into that later. He's not going to be our Chancellor. Lord Elyard of White Ward Tower? What about somebody who's like a little bit... yeah, we don't really have anybody who's actually particularly... like a High Lord or anything like that. So I guess Lord Elyard here can take on that role. Who's going to be our steward? Lord Lord Wendell? No, I think I want to make Lord Wendell our spy master. There we go. He's pretty good at that. I think for our steward, Lord Barracan of Ladestone, he is pretty good. It's just kind of a no-name, but that's probably fine. There we go. Our marshal, who's going to be our marshal? Let's see. I think we got to give this to probably, I mean, yeah, I think we'll give it to Lord Talmard here. He's not actually the best at it, but we've got to give some of these positions to some of our important and trusted allies. Who's going to be our admiral? Mistress Leanne of the Wolfswood could be good. So yeah, you know what? House Glover. Let's give a reward to House Glover. And we will need a court chaplain as well. The Hornwoods? She's actually good at it, so maybe that could be okay. Yeah, all right, let's put a Hornwood in there. All right, so there we go. That's our council. We do have, of course, Graham Mormont here is going to be a trusted one, but we also got, our trusted allies, Manderleys, Karstarks, and the Mormonts. Those were the guys who helped us take the north. They're obviously going to have a position on the council. And then we got the Hornwood and the Glovers in here as well. So these guys are kind of no-names. We'll replace them if we get a chance. So that is our council. Let's take a look at our court positions. And I know I have not let a lot of time pass, but that's because there's a lot of stuff to do here. So let's see if there's any positions that we really want to fill out. Well, we're probably going to want a captain of the household guard. Let's consider... not many good options for that. We do have a Baratheon here. Once again, I'll get into that later along with the fray. Do we make Magmar the captain of our household guard? He's actually kind of, just having a giant as that? You know what? Let's do it. Although he is somebody who's like, he probably would be happier as like something like a, I don't know, like an antiquarian or something, honestly. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. He does fight. Well, he's a blade master now, but remember, Magmar, despite being a giant, he is somebody who's more like a curious, like learned giant rather than a warrior. So, let's give him the position of our antiquarian there. So that's fine. We'll need to get a captain of the household guard at some point. Court bard. Let's see. No, let's keeper of the cells. Nobody particularly good at that. Court smith. Well, I think that we have to make Dragma the smith here as our court smith. You'll notice she does have 2 kids. I wonder who these children might be from. It is somebody from our company, but I'll let you hypothesize down in the comments who the father of these children with Dragma is. But in any case, we will make her our court smith. There we go. What about any of these other positions? Master of Horse, Cregan Umber. You know what? Let's make Lord Graham our Master of Hunt. Master of Horse. Yeah, you know what? Cregan Umber. We can put you in there. Architect. Ooh, Dragma could do that as well. So she can do both jobs. We'll start making money eventually, I'm sure. Our seneschal. I don't know if having a wildling as a seneschal would be good for that. Cupbearer. We probably could use a cupbearer here, but none of them are really trustworthy. We'll look into the rest of these later. Oh, court brewmaster. What is that? Interesting. Wilfred Seawind, can you be our court brewmaster? That's an interesting position. What is Wilfred good at here? He's kind of a clever man. Oh man, could he be our seneschal? Let's see. He's average at it. You know what? Let's give him a position here as our seneschal there. All right, and then we have a ton of prisoners here as well, as you can see. And I do want to probably ransom all of them. Well, we'll ransom whichever ones we can get ransoms for. This is probably going to give us a lot of money here. So let's let this go. Oh, all right. Our lifestyle focus invalidated. That's because we switched from being unlanded to landed. All right, there we go. Osgood Shet is back as well. Perfect. We might be able to make him like our one of these positions here. Could we make Osgood Shet our captain of the household guard? Yeah, he's average at it. There we go. Let's do it. There we go. Ransom accepted. 528. Wow, we went up pretty good there. That's a fair amount of money just from all of these ransoms here. I like it. Oh yeah, look at all of that money. I love to see it. All right, what are we going to do with our lifestyle focus here? Do we go for Marshall? Well, we do need to defeat the wildlings beyond the wall, but if you look, I mean, our realm is still in a lot of trouble. Like, everybody hates us, so I'm also tempted to maybe go back down the diplomacy route. Oh man, yeah, this could be good. August. Let's see, inspiring rule, counselor opinion, distinguished guards, true ruler. Honestly, this could be better for us than even going down here. I think that this could be more valuable. The wandering lifestyle doesn't seem super helpful to us in our current position. Intrigue, yeah, no, I think we're gonna go down diplomacy. I think we'll focus on majesty here, and then we're probably gonna try to get some things from August in order to try to just solidify our control in the realm here. Now, we can also send for a maester, which we should definitely do. Do we still have the trait here? Yeah, we still have gallows bait. I'd like to get rid of that. Can we do that? Wipe slate. Missing 144 piety, so we will be able to do that. Oh, I also forgot. We do have some artifacts. We do have Red Rain, which we got from slaying or capture, or yeah, I think it was from capturing Harrion. Because it said he had Red Rain at one point. So what do we do with Red Rain? I did look. We could technically sell it for a lot of money on the artifacts market. If we sell it, we could get 1,400 gold. But I don't really know about that. Honestly, I'm tempted to give it as an extra reward here to Graham Mormont here. He's already got his axe. I don't know. What do you guys think we should do with Red Rain? I'll leave that one up to you as to what we will do with this sword here. Who are we going to give it to? Let me know down in the comments below who you think is deserving of it, or if we should sell it. Maybe we should. You tell me. Let's see. We could host the grand tournament. We could host a grand tour. We don't have an heir. We're working on that. We do have our betrothal to Lady Kellis here. There's a court event. All right, let's see what this court event is. Under-equipped. I am enjoying a rare quiet moment between councils when Magmar pulls me aside. My liege, he begins carefully. As your captain, it is my holy duty to fight your battles, but... He looks doubtful for a moment, then makes a weak but exasperated gesture with his scabbard. How am I supposed to do my job with this old thing? Surely quality is everything when it comes to protecting the king's life. My best men need quality arms. We can't afford this. A good quality weapon of Magmar's choosing will be forged for him. Ooh, I kind of like that. Go to the army like everybody else? No. Okay, we'll pay for that. A little bit of stress is fine. And then we have, and he becomes the owner of Magmar's sword. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Solid foundations. My sensible architect, Dragma. Skills find much praise at court. Even the simplest repair works are handled with care and precision. Rare to find in the north or anywhere else for that matter. She has been deep in thought this past week and at last shares her quandary. My lord, in my work I have noticed ways to streamline your building projects, but my efforts might be better spent aiding the expansion of the villages. You are my architect. Efficient assembly. See to the needs of the people. Civil oversight. Ooh, okay. A talented woman could do both. 50% chance? I think that... Which one's actually going to be more useful here? Probably... probably efficient assembly, I think, just because we might want to buy some buildings and things like that here. So, should we hold court? Yeah, let's hold court. Why not? Sitting on my throne, I gesture for my guards to open. Also, this the Winterfell Great Hall here just looks so freaking cool. Great job, modding team. You guys are amazing. If anybody from the Game of Thrones modding team happens to be watching this, well done. You guys have made an awesome mod here. Gesture for the first in line to approach. My lord, I regret to inform you that I am at the end of my tether. Lord Iane is clearly exasperated. The people over which I rule are beyond my understanding, with ridiculous customs and a terrible taste for food. Who are you? You're a Northman. Okay, well, you should be ruling over Northmen. Barricans, show them our ways. Start a promote culture task in Darset. We respect the traditions of all our subjects. They're Wolfswood clansmen. No, yeah, we respect the traditions of the Wolfswood clansmen. Of course we do. A peasant woman stands before me, informing the court of her plea. The recent war took a toll on the countryside, and we're not sure who the culprit is, but they looted an important cultural site to us, Wolfswood clansmen from Darset. Please, we beseech you, spare some of your resources so we can see it restored. We can increase the... Alright, cultural acceptance. Yep, alright. I mean, I'm good with making allies among the Wolfswood clansmen because... You know, the Glovers, the Ironwoods, like all of those houses are going to be useful full allies to us, so that will go. Lord Graham stands before you, his face grave with concern. My lord, the threat of beyond the wall weighs heavily on this mind. Ooh, this is a perfect event. High King Gorn looms across the border, only days from the gates of Matchwood set in House Mormont's hearths. You must help me fortify my lands. The Bearfort soldiers and fortifications are all that stand between the north and Rune. Oh, this is such a perfect event. Your responsibilities may indeed justify privileges. Yeah, okay. You speak true. Bearfort must be fortified. Ooh, okay. Frontier ramparts. That's actually pretty good too. We could get his opinion up. His opinion will go up as here as well. Days we must fortify the capital. Yeah, all right. Let's fortify the Bearfort here. We'll spend the money. We get the hook. The frontier ramparts, I think, are going to be pretty useful, I would say. Fortification rights granted. No, we'll spend the money here. There we go. As the last petitioner departs, various courtiers follow them out of the room, having business to attend elsewhere. Others remain talking amongst themselves about the recent proceedings. Soon the ceremonial formality of the proceedings has dropped away entirely, with the hum and bustle of normal courtly life taking its place. My business here is done. There we go. We gain some legitimacy. We should look... Oh man, this just looks... It looks so good. We should consider what we're going to do. Yeah, we definitely need to do something about our court grandeur. Let's see... we don't have a lot of money, but we pretty much have to spend some money to increase up to at least to try to get... Can we get up to 6? Minute lodgings, very few servants, bland food. I think we're going to go for grander lodgings here. Yeah, let's see. How much is this going to cost us? 20. That's a big jump. Let's see. This is our expected grandeur, though, so we should try to do that. This is going to be a big increase in money, but we don't really have a choice here. Yeah, new set of court amenities is going to cost us. It's going to cost us a lot. Maybe we should have some extra servants too, just to make sure we have that like little buffer. No, I think this is fine. All right, there we go. We're losing 9.5 a month. We will need to do something about that as well, but at least our court grandeur is going to go up, and that's going to help with a lot of things as well. We can get rid of all of those. Grand Tour. So here we go. We could hold a coronation, but before we do that, I want to introduce you to a couple different characters. And as you will recall, things in the world are still progressing without us here, and that is the war between the Blackfire Host and the Iron Throne. Now, it is 30% in favor of King Maekar here, and there is, as you can see, still a fierce fight going on between the forces here. Now, Storm King Hagon, the Red Dragon here, he might be losing a little bit. He might be a little bit lower in soldiers, but if you take a look, he's got 676 gold versus minus 1100 here. So King Maekar is heavily in debt. And so, yeah, although King Maekar might be at a slight disadvantage here, he is still putting up a good fight. And so this war is not done yet. And obviously, in this situation, both of those who claim to be kings of the Iron Throne, have sent envoys to the north to try to win King or Lord Ardos to his side. And this is why I say we haven't called ourselves king yet, because I have not decided if we are going to go an independent north, if we are going to join the Iron Throne and King Maekar, or if we are going to ally ourselves with King Hagon. So let's take a look at these envoys that they have sent to us, because these are some interesting characters. And we'll take a look at the envoy from the Iron Throne first. So who did King Maekar send to try to get us onto his side? And that is none other than Sir Laren Baratheon, the Great Stag. This is a brother of Sir Lionel the Laughing Storm himself. Now, as you'll recall, the Baratheons were ousted from Storm's End and from the Stormlands when the Blackfires came in. So they have been serving the Iron Throne here in hopes of getting their lands back. And so Sir Laren here, probably Laren. So Sir Laren here is obviously a Baratheon. You can see he's got some interesting traits: authoritative, ambitious, callous, intricate web weaver. So he's a little bit of a sneakier type guy. He's got the burly body of a Baratheon, although he doesn't have much likelihood of producing children. And then he was badly burned in a fire as well. So he's obviously a very capable warrior and very capable of intrigue as well. And he obviously has ambitions of getting the Stormlands back for his family. And so he has been sent by King Maekar here to, I would imagine, considering King Maekar's traits and considering Laren's traits here, that rather than, playing nice and trying to, entreat us towards King Maekar here, they're essentially demanding that the Starks honor their oaths to be loyal to the Targaryens, because, the Starks we did swear oaths. We did bend the knee to the Targaryens long ago, and the Starks have honored that oath for a very long time. The Targaryens haven't really done anything to wrong us since that time. And so although they might be, a little bit more forceful about it, honor might demand that we do acquiesce with the demands of King Maekar to once again swear fealty to the rightful king of the Iron Throne. So that is one possibility. What do you guys think? Do we, are we going to honor the oaths and that the Starks have made and swear fealty to our rightful liege? That's one possibility. Who is the envoy from the Blackfire House? Well, that is an interesting one as well. And as you will recall, we did have a Frey in our court, and that is Oliver Frey. Now, here's an interesting guy. Lustful, generous, calm, He is a gracious envoy, a genius, stuttering, one-legged, and disfigured. So when he was younger, he was obviously horrifically maimed in a battle, and he probably didn't get a lot of respect because of his stuttering ways. But this is a man with a mind keener than any other. And so that was recognized by Storm King Haegon here. And so he sent Oliver to try to win us over to the side of the Blackfires. Now, the Blackfires might not necessarily be demanding that we swear fealty to them because, you know, they're in a different position, right? King Maekar could demand fealty to us because he would see it as his right. Whereas Storm King Haegon, he might also eventually want to have us swear fealty to him, but he's currently losing his war. He needs allies kind of desperately at this moment. And so I could certainly imagine a deal being made where Storm King Haegon agrees to recognize the independence of the North and would maybe get an alliance with us. Like perhaps he would offer one of his daughters to marry an eventual son of ours when we do have a son, and strike up an alliance there. So I think that that's one possibility. I think that's what Oliver Frey here is going to be trying to present us with: a marriage between us and between one of our children and one of the children of the Blackfire King, and an alliance to defeat the Targaryens and also the independence of the North. So I think that's the deal from the Blackfires. The deal from King Maekar is basically just, you know, honor our oaths. That there is something to be said for that. So yeah, that's that current position. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about that. Now, we do have one other character in our court, and this is an interesting character as well, and this is Balder Tully. Now, obviously, we have an alliance with the Tully through our betrothal to Lady Kellis, who has actually come to the north now, and along with her came Balder Tully. Now, this is a bastard son of Sir Edmure the Barracuda. Now, Sir Edmure, his wife died of the spring sickness many years ago, and he became a septon in his grief. He's a good guy, as you can see here, content, compassionate, but he's got a little bit of a temper. But, you know, he became a septon after his wife died, but unfortunately, he could not hold to his oaths completely, and so he had a bastard son. Now, as we look at the situation with the Tullys, you can see that Lord Paramount Medger, who we freed from the prisons of the Boltons here and is our close ally and friend, he's got two daughters. His eldest daughter, Lady Jane, and then his youngest daughter, Lady Kellis, to whom we're betrothed. His son, Lord Stefan, the presumed heir to the Riverlands, died of the spring sickness as well, which means that his eldest daughter, Lady Jane, is set to inherit River Run in the Riverlands. Well, who is Lady Jane married to? Well, as you can see by the golden hair, she's married to a Lannister, which means that Lady Jane's children are Lannisters, which means that the Lannisters are set to inherit the Riverlands. And without any other Tully, male Tullys who are capable of actually having legitimate children, Balder Rivers here, the bastard of Lord Edmure, is the last living chance for a male Tully to continue that lineage here. And so he's been sent to the north, one, to kind of protect him from the Lannisters, because if the Lannisters think of him as a threat, they might try to do away with him. But also, you know, to have him train under one of the greatest warriors. And so we will actually be educating him here. So that's what we're gonna do with that. And so yeah, that's a situation. We're gonna have to consider what we do about helping our allies here, because yeah, it's unlikely that Medger and his wife's 45, they're probably not going to have any other male children. So there we go. That's the situation. I know almost no time has passed during this episode, but there was a lot to go through, a lot to deal with. So now that we're at the end of this episode, I have to present you with a question, and I will be putting a poll up for this. And that question is, what do we do from here? Do we honor our oaths to the Targaryens and join King Maekar, who's currently winning the war here, and join him in taking down the Blackfires? Something to consider with that is that if we join the Blackfires and lose, King Maekar is going to... We will not get any mercy from him. If he defeats the Blackfires and us, he's going to come north, and if he captures us, we will be beheaded for certain. If we choose to side with the Blackfires, then we have the possibility of having a very strong ally here on the Iron Throne. But like I said, if we lose, it's could go very, very badly for us. So this is a high risk, high reward play, joining Storm King Haegon here, joining the Blackfire or joining House Targaryen. That's probably the safest option. Or we could just try to be an independent north. We could ignore both sides, secure the north, try to take back from beyond the wall here, and keep a more isolationist north. So that's what I'm going to leave up to you. Do we join the Targaryens? Do we join the Blackfires? Or are we going to name ourselves as King of the North? Let me know down in the comments what you think, and keep an eye out for the poll because that will be coming soon. Until the next episode, Wanderers, thank you so much for watching.